Some of you are dating men, like grown men, that don't eat vegetables. You're like, oh, why do I keep attracting bad men? How do I weed out the toxic men? Hold up a broccoli.
And while he's trying to get acclimated and accustomed to broccoli, I don't know, maybe you can put on a better shirt. Even exchange.
I have a question for the guys. Is it true that guys think about when they're in a relationship, they're taking fiance, girlfriend, wife? Is it true when they're taken, they think about being single and thinking of all the things they could have? Like motorcycles, like a condo, stuff like that. But when a girl thinks of being single, they don't think of that at all in a relationship. Well, I don't know about any other girls, but I kind of want to know what y'all think, the men and the women. Do you guys think about being single while you're in a relationship, or is it just men? I really want to know.
I mean, if you're being a headache to him, I'm sure he's like, man, why did I ever do this? And he's regretting that decision. Once again, the proverb says, man, I'd rather be in the corner of a house than to be in the home with a contentious woman. I'd rather be on a rooftop than to be in a home with a woman that causes problems. So in that scenario, probably. But like I say, a lot of times, most men are worried about working. They're worried about building. And all they really want you to do is be loyal, be on their team, and to help them build.
When you really clock how much easier men have it than women, you will stop feeling sorry for them. You will. I don't care. Men complain, I don't give a fuck. When a man complains about something, I genuinely it literally goes one ear and out the other. Now, if he's talking about relationships and something that I need to but complaining, I will listen to you complain. Everyone needs someone to vent to, but am I going to feel the need? Am I going to feel sympathy? No, I'm going to tell you to get to it. I'm going to tell you this world was built for you to succeed. Why aren't you not succeeding? Did you have your period last month? No. Did you give birth a couple years ago? No. So what's the dealio? You have more stamina than me. You're more logical than me. You know exactly how to get out here and make it work. That's what you're built to do. It's what you're designed to do. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And ladies, when you really clock the fact that they have it so much easier, just living, just their day to day, their month to month is easier than yours, girl, you will stop feeling sorry for these niggas. You will. I don't feel sorry for them at all. Unless you are disabled, unless you've lost a leg, an arm, unless you're autistic, unless you got something like that, I don't feel sorry for you. I'm gonna tell you to get the fuck up and do what you're supposed to do. Be a man. Be a man. Stop being a little bitch.
Well, I would probably say if you're still hanging on to something that you did 2 years ago, then maybe you're not the person for me, right? If you can't move past something 2 years ago, and sometimes you guys are still holding on to, well, I gave birth, I gave you a child, and haven't done anything since for 5 or 10 years. Y'all are still hanging on to that. Modern women know how to milk something until its entirety. Unfortunately for men, they're milking the wrong thing. Nobody wants to hear this. Delete this video.
They talking about, oh, people not getting they SNAP benefits in the month of November. I know, like, fuck, y'all ain't take my mama food stamps in the month of Thanksgiving. Are you fucking serious? Are we finna riot or what? Because this is taking it too far. It's already been too far, but they have taken it to hell.
Don't you think if your mom got her food stamps taken away, then y'all should come together and riot to get her that assistance that she needs? Y'all are too worried about Thanksgiving. Y'all can come together and get something for Thanksgiving. That's easy. Y'all need to be trying to support her, but y'all are not doing that. Y'all are still trying to be on food stamps for an indefinite amount of time.
We're not going to eat. I'd be damned if I pay for a motherfucking turkey with my own motherfucking money.
Well, you're laying in bed, so probably not. If you're laying in bed all day, then you're probably not going to eat.
I know my mama better get her stamps.
The social service field, and if you receive SNAP, you should be aware of this. Unfortunately, the rumors about SNAP possibly being affected or even stopped in November are true. SNAP is federally funded through the USDA, and they've already put out an announcement that they have only had the funding for October, but because of the government shutdown, they don't have the funds for November. And if Congress doesn't pass a budget bill or a temporary funding bill, then states can't load funds onto people's EBT cards. So if the government shutdown continues for much longer, you can expect a delay or even a stop in your SNAP benefits for the month of November at least.
No, because here's my thoughts on that whole like Michigan mom of 5 who used her EBT card to sell baked goods. First of all, who snitched on her? How did they find that out? They said that they went and looked through how much she had used.
Well, I would probably say, I think she actually snitched on herself. Actually, I can't remember. Maybe it was her daughter. But essentially, I think the point is, you said that you need help. We're giving the assistance to you. You're turning around and taking the assistance we're giving to you from, I want to say taxpayer dollars, and then giving it to somebody else. It's like, well, no, this is not an indefinite thing. This is not a thing that just continues to happen. Y'all have already been in the system, on the system, too many years. This was just to help you until you get into a better spot.
Over an X amount of time. And she's facing up to 10 years?
Dang.
That's more than freaking Diddy got. We have a felon in office. I really don't care what she did with her food stamps. She decided that rent is expensive, childcare is expensive, life is freaking expensive. So she found a way to support her children the best way that she thought possible.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of you guys take this sort of stance regardless of if the woman is committing a crime. But when a man does something to feed his children, then, oh, well, he's still got to understand that's against the law. Punish all men. All men are dangerous.
Another trip to the Walmarts. Let's see what y'all can find what I bought wrong today with my food stamp card. Since y'all love to nitpick on what I'm able to buy, what I'm not able to buy. Y'all think you have all the say in the world on what I buy from the grocery store. But let's see if you can figure out what I bought wrong today. Exactly where I'm going. I'm headed straight for it too. Before everybody else buys it all with their hard-earned cash. All right, perfect. Okay. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I'm not eating salmon every day, but if I'm looking at that correctly, it looks like it's at least $10. So if you're trying to be frugal with your funds, if you're doing that 7 days a week, or like even 5, then that's 50. But I'm guessing you're going to spend most of your money on a protein, obviously. So I'd like to see where this goes.
Friday.
And by the way, you only get a certain amount each month. So let's say if you get 200 each month, right? Some people only get $200 each month. Then you're already spending a good portion of your stuff in 1 week. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really have money to get anything else. But of course, I think I've heard of women or people getting $800 in food stamps, right? So I guess if that's the case, then you spend what, 5 times 10, 200 a month. If you have an extra month, 250 plus you get everything else, assuming you have $800 in food stamps.
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. So it's more than that.
And Sunday. Okay. Then we gotta go.
That takes it down a little bit, but okay.
Alright, so we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right there.
Oh.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get a few extra steaks.
Are you gonna?
Sunday.
Are you not gonna
and then
get
we
any
got Monday,
chicken?
Tuesday again next week. So we got 3 packs of steak. And we got 6, 7, 8.
I think the only thing that would probably make this worse is if she found her way over to like the section with the lobster in it.
7 packs of.
She hadn't even gotten any chicken, and she does this every week,
And we're
dude.
gonna go check out.
There's a lot of people that don't even eat like this every week.
With food stamps already being taken away, a Walmart already got fucking raided. And this is not gonna be the first. I don't know what the fuck the government was thinking by taking away the EBT fucking food stamps, especially right before fucking Thanksgiving, right before the fucking holidays. And if they think the American people are going to be okay with it, you think the American people are gonna go starving? Yeah, you got it all the way fucked up. Expect way more fucking riots at the grocery stores.
It's not going to be that, because the American people aren't starving. It's you guys that are taking advantage of the system. Now, there are some people that have EBT or food stamps that actually need it. But what I think people have been calling for years is for you guys to stop abusing the system.
At Walmart, at Target, wherever EBT is fucking accepted at, yeah. Because apparently the only place that is still getting EBT is New York City and California. But what about the rest of the fucking thousands of millions of fucking people who literally depend on fucking EBT for food? And I heard Aldi is doing a Thanksgiving feeding of 10 people for only $40 freaking dollars. And I don't know how true it is, but you know what? If it is, I'm so motherfucking glad. Mind you, Aldi is not even an American brand. It's a European brand. They don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, yeah. Our own government don't give people have no food during Christmas, have no food during Thanksgiving. Like, they know exactly what they are doing. They want people to cause commotion, to cause riot, so they can bring in the National Guard, the military, to minimize thieves and all this shit. But these are just people who are fucking hungry. Like, I'm telling you right now, this shit is not gonna end in a good fucking way.
Well, I would probably say if Aldi is feeding people for $40, she just bought a 3-pack of steaks. The woman we just saw bought a 3-pack of steaks for $40, and she bought like 2 or 3 of them. Instead of going and feeding people for $40, like, she could have done that multiple times. Who knows how many weeks she could have done that. You can go to Aldi, honestly, and clean up. You can get quite literally almost anything that you want. I mean, some of it's not going to be name brand, but I don't know if you need name brand proteins like ground beef, ground turkey. I mean, they do have some name brand stuff in there for you, major stuff, but you can go in there and clean up and still not spend so much money. So that's what people are saying. How come you're spending all of this money and I don't even eat like that?
If y'all are gonna sit here and think that people of this fucking century is gonna sit home and starve while there's mad fucking grocery stores around them, yeah, you got it all the way fucked up. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. They want people to start commotion. They want people to start violence, so they have an excuse to be like, okay, this is the reason why we're going to send the military. This is the reason why we're gonna do this, that, and the fucking third. Like, that's insane to me. Playing with people's food, playing with people's hunger, feeding their families is wild to me. Out of everything, wow.
And if they really cut off food stamps for November, y'all better go into the HR office and turn your taxes off. We should not be paying taxes if they're not going to help the American people.
If you're on food stamps, you're not paying that many taxes anyway. If you're on that type of stuff, there's not a lot of taxes that you're paying. And the taxes that you're paying is probably not equaling what you're pulling out. You know what I mean? And even if it were, it's kind of like one and one. Like, you're not putting that much in the system, if that's the case.
If my grandma don't get her Social Security, what the fuck make you think I'm gonna pay taxes for? Huh? If my community members who need food stamps can't get it, I'm not paying no taxes, bitch. I'm not paying a motherfucking thing. Cause what you doing with my money?
Giving it to the government. You're being taxed. You're going to be paying taxes. That's how it is. You're going to be paying taxes. End of story. The job that you're working, if you're working a legitimate job, you're going to have to report your taxes. And a lot of times you're not even going to do it. The company's going to do it for you. So there's not really even an argument here.
What you doing with my money? Because you don't know how to use it right. So I'm going to take it back. Since you don't know how to use it right, I'm taking it back.
So, as a mom of 7 who is not on government assistance, I feel like I
have to come on here at 8 o'clock in the morning and rant a little bit because I was reading about Florida's like implementations or whatever the fuck they're doing next year for food stamps. And why can't kids get birthday cakes? Why can't they have ice cream for their birthdays? Why can't they have juice boxes for their birthdays with their friends?
Well, they can. I think it's just that you guys get carried away. Once again, y'all are buying these extravagant cakes, and I know you want the kid to be like everybody else, but y'all get carried away. And like I said, with the woman who was buying multiple steaks, y'all keep on loading and loading and loading and loading all of this stuff into your cart, and before you get done, like I said, it's more than people spend in a month. It's more than regular people spend on groceries in a month. You're out here balling and living lavish, and they're like, wait a minute, why are they on this system balling and living lavish when it was supposed to be for support, for temporary support?
Or Halloween or sleepover. Like, why does that matter? There really is, there's no argument. Like, what argument do you have against that? What argument says, you know what? Fuck them kids. That's it. That's the argument. The argument is we really don't care about children. The argument is we are so pro-life that we really don't care about kids. Like, we've come full circle. We don't care about their experiences. We don't care about all the shit that they have to deal with in life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys are all about experiences, and you're not worried about experiencing working. You're not worried about getting experience for your resume on the job.
We just care about them making it earthside. Everything else, fuck them. They don't need birthday parties. They don't need cakes. But, I mean, the mom, she could make a cake, you know, in between everything fucking else moms have to do, or everything else that dads have to do. Dad could just make a birthday cake.
I mean, you could actually. They have boxes where you can make almost quite literally any cake. An Oreo cake, you have cranberry, orange, you can make scones, you can make brownies, anything pretty much that you want, they have it. And it's cheaper than going in there and buying a whole huge cake, right? You can get all that stuff. That's why they were saying feeding made reference to feeding Aldi, feeding people for $40. That's how. You go in there and get 2 or 3 boxes of that ready baked mix, maybe like a can or 2 or a tin or 2 of like the frosting, and you're golden. I'm assuming you already have baking pans at the house. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to get. Probably a jug of milk. You need eggs, butter. All of that is probably going to come out to around $30, $35. You can have a birthday party or a cake made for about $35. And y'all are trying to get a cake made for about $150. $90 y'all are trying to get a cake made. Well, it's got to look like this. It's got to look like that. You got to get creative. Maybe you can't have the decoration on your cake, but maybe you can have the decorations in on your clothing or your hats or something like that. You as a parent are more mature, so you know how to finagle it when your kid asks you for something. Well, we can't necessarily do that, but let's see what we can do here. Once again, this is not the government's issue. It's yours.
Oh, what about homemade ice cream? Because you're privileged. You're privileged. Yeah, it's actually elitist. You've never had to struggle. You've never been in the fucking trenches, so you don't know. You don't know. Oh, well, get out of the trenches. Get out of the hood. Get out of poverty. Just get out. Okay, well then you get them out of poverty. You show them in school how to do that. Oh, the education system hasn't been updated in ever, so we're not showing everything that's available to them now. I'm just mad. I don't even...
None of that matters. There's people out here, and I understand what you're talking about with the education system. I get it. But instead of working to do something about it, you're out here complaining. That's the point. You're just saying, give me money and I'll spend it as I please. But when the American people are saying, no, wait a minute, you can't just spend it as you please when it's not supposed to be permanent. That's what you're having an issue with.
That, oh,
What if someone abuses it? Then they go fucking hungry. Like, what are you talking about? Then they don't.
We're talking about abusing it, not them being hungry. Once again, there's things that you can get and stock up your pantry without abusing it. That's what we're saying. The woman went in there once again and bought steaks and salmon. There was no chicken. There was no ground turkey, no nothing else. No cheaper options, just the high ticket items.
Who fucking cares? And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If 6 people blow all of their money on energy drinks, who fucking cares?
The American people.
Who cares? If you give something to someone, okay, what they do with it is not your business.
But it is, because you have to submit to them documentation as to why you need it. I don't know why we're even talking about this right now. It is their business.
If I have food stamps, the food that I bring into my home to feed my children, it's really none of your business. And that's like another thing. It's like another control thing. It's like people outside of your life wanting to be inside your life so bad. Why? Why do you care? Like, y'all don't care about my kids. No one cares about my children. Really don't. Until it just gives you something to fight about. Until it's something that can let you argue. Then you care. So, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Let's take kids who are already growing up in less than ideal situations and say, hey, you actually can't have a birthday cake ever. You want a birthday party? Well, hot dogs only.
And once again, kids are not going to care unless they're a picky child. They're not going to care if they eat pizza or a hot dog. They're actually going to love that. So you can get some frozen pizzas. You can get some great value pizzas, because a lot of these kids don't even have taste buds. They're just, if this is what I want, if I saw it on a Lunchable, then let's get that. So you can probably get a frozen pizza for about $5. You probably only need 3 of them, 5, 10, 15. So pair that with the 35 that we had a minute ago. What are we looking at? 55, somewhere around there, maybe close to it. 50, I think. Yeah, 15 plus 35, 50. Okay, rounded up with tax, probably about 53, 54. You have a party, and then you might spend another, if you're smart about it, you might spend another 15 on decorations, maybe 20. So you just had, if you're getting 800, let's say you get 500 in food stamps, which is kind of even worse. You just spent like $100 on a party, right? But you know, we'll cut back here and we'll cut back. That's kind of the point. If you're getting $500 a month in food stamps, then you'll know when to say, okay, we've got this coming up. Let's buy this. Let's get that. Let's do this. So when it actually comes up, the birthday, then you've already put money aside, or you've already collected materials so that you can throw a birthday party seamlessly. I'm not seeing the issue here. You probably throw that thing for about $80-$90.
They said y'all not finna get no food stamps for November. They said it's over 40-some million people that would be affected by this. And this is all due to the government shutdown. They said this shit includes SNAP, WIC, all that. Anything that includes with food, that shit is going down. Now, I don't know if it's true, but they saying that if you got kids under 5, you still would get food stamps. Meanwhile, they saying there's insufficient funds. People finna go crazy. America is finna shut this bitch down. I feel bad because it's finna be so many families without. People already stressed over if they gonna get paid or not, especially dealing with federal shit. Like, people got bills and stuff to pay for, and that shit don't stop. Like, they don't stop our rent. They don't stop our lights. Like, that shit don't stop, and we literally gotta figure out and fend for it. That I know that's why it's always good to have emergency funds, but everybody's life ain't good enough for them to have that, if that makes sense. I think this law go into effective on November the 1st. I saw a few people saying that it's supposed to start at the end of October, but I'm not absolutely sure about that because I didn't read up on that part. But I think it's November the 1st. Y'all better be really prepared because it's some shit really finna happen.
Well, I think the takeaway here is kind of like I was saying in another clip. If you're kind of stocking up, you talked about not having an emergency fund. That's kind of the thing, the planning ahead. I mean, when stuff like this happens, it's kind of hard for people to be fully prepared because you never truly know what somebody's going to do. And then also you do have issues or instances where people, they're kind of just getting into something. They're down on their luck. And so it's not that they're spending recklessly. It's just that I haven't had time to build myself up. So there are instances of that. But I think for a lot of the people out there that are taking this stuff and abusing it, that's the people that, a lot of Americans don't feel sorry for, because y'all weren't trying to plan anything. Y'all were trying to plan on how many sodas to get. Y'all were trying to plan on, how many steaks and stuff like that to get, which is what she was doing. Oh, I'm doing this for meal prep. But do you have to get that? There's other ways to meal prep for cheaper.
Donald motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting that goddamn food stamps in goddamn November? Cause I'm getting my goddamn shit. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries. Baby.
The police will. Simple as that. You can do all of this talking and all of this nonsense. The police will do this relatively easy. What is this? So essentially what you're saying is, I'm going to go in there and steal. The police are going to stop you from doing that every single time. And it's not even, you get one male officer and you're done for.
Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human motherfucker bulldozer, baby? Because that's what the fuck I'm going to turn into. If you think you going to stop me from leaving out that goddamn store with my motherfucking monthly groceries that I get every goddamn month, I ain't bothering no goddamn body, okay? Why the fuck is y'all bothering me and my goddamn food? I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass. Shaped like a motherfucking penguin any motherfucking way, albino motherfucking walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like, it's gonna be an episode of goddamn SNAP if y'all turn them goddamn SNAP benefits off, I can tell you that.
This is a joke. Don't take this seriously. She's just talking. Honestly and truly, I'm 250. It doesn't matter. Y'all don't realize just how weak you actually are. But the strength of a man will remind you of that fairly quickly. This is a non-story.
Well, this is an important cup of tea. A whole lot of y'all have reached out to me today about the news that's spreading that people that receive SNAP benefits will not receive their benefits starting November 1st. SNAP benefits, EBT, that is food stamps. And yes, a letter was sent to states to tell them to withhold releasing funds to recipients, dear. And in that letter, they were talking about the shutdown. But that's not what's going on. No, baby, I've got the entire cup of tea. So what you may not know is that back in May, the current regime sent letters all across the US of A to the SNAP departments, to the EBT departments, requesting data on EBT recipients, those who receive food stamp benefits, going all the way back, this is important, all the way back to 2020.
Anybody could have guessed that. All the way back, so 5 years, to 2020. Anybody would have guessed that.
Now, what was going on in the United States in 2020?
Pandemic.
The flu-pocalypse. And because of the flu-pocalypse, people in the United States were receiving SNAP benefits that had never received SNAP benefits before, under emergency SNAP benefits. Millions of Americans who had never received SNAP benefits before were receiving them because we were in a national emergency because of the flu-pocalypse. Just like people who had never before qualified for unemployment because they were 1099 employees were receiving unemployment benefits because we were in a crisis here. Okay. So it's safe to say that a whole lot of the people who started freshly and newly receiving benefits in 2020 are no longer receiving those benefits anymore because that emergency is over. Right? Right. Now, blue states refute 27 states turned over that data. Red states, they turned over that data to the federal government about who in their state receives these SNAP benefits. And this isn't regular data. This is all your personal information. You see, we already give data to the federal government about SNAP benefits, not the names of the people who receive it or their home or addresses or their social security numbers or all that other stuff that you put on those applications. Just data about how many people are receiving the benefits and what the amounts are.
They have that data somewhere. They might not be using it, but trust me, they pretty much know where you are if you're receiving benefits. Maybe a few you might slip through the cracks, but you haven't really said anything yet.
That's normal. But asking for all this personal data is not normal. And blue states came out to say, nope, we're not sending you this data because this is just another play by this regime to collect data on Americans for surveillance for immigration operations.
So wait a minute. Immigration operations for what? Trying to see who's not supposed to be using something? Again, you haven't said anything yet. You literally haven't said anything yet. It's not a secret. Every good country should be auditing the money that if a taxpayer is sending it. Okay, so let's say you have like a nonprofit or something like that, and you claim that you're not basically making any money or whatever and whatnot, or the money that you get is donations or charity, or whether you have a church or something like that. You have to keep, or really in any business, you have to keep strict records. Because at any point in time, they're going to come by and they're going to say, hey, this looks unusual. We need to audit this. We need to look at this. And if you don't have those numbers, then your stuff is getting shut down. Most likely, unless you throw up a prayer or a Hail Mary or something like that, your stuff is getting shut down. And there's not going to be any, it's going to be boots on the ground and I'm stomping in Walmart with a helmet on. That helmet's not going to do anything to you because your hands are still free. And you can't march out of Walmart with food in your hand and then expect for somebody not to be able to stop you. Your hands are full. You're not going to be able to fight it. You're going to be off balance. So this plan to just walk up in there, grab stuff and leave, your feet are still free. They can grab you by your feet, both people, and simply trip you. Your plan is, it's anything but foolproof. Anything but. It's an idiot plan. And then we're talking about, oh, well, they're collecting this data and this and that. They already have, if you're receiving benefits, they already have the data. What are we doing?
And they refused to send in that private data to the current regime. And it pissed off the current regime, dear. It did. It pissed them off. Because legally, these states don't have to turn over that data. They don't have to. Nope, they don't have to. And it's.
Let me ask you a question. If some of these, why would they need the address of these people? So basically, I think what you're saying is this is a play for ICE. Is that what you're saying? For immigration, for somebody to be detained? I guess that's the argument you're making. Oh, if y'all won't, so I guess the government shutdown is what you're saying is because y'all are hiding illegal immigrants? Is that the argument you're making?
It's pissed off the current administration. So in a play to try to force Democratic states to hand over your private information, they're threatening to withhold benefits. And it's an empty threat because the federal government doesn't have the authority to come into your state and force EBT to withhold your benefits.
Exactly. You just killed your own argument. If funds are coming from the federal government, then they're going to stop those funds. But if they're coming from the state, then the state has the ability to say, no, we're going to continue to give these funds out. But if the government says, okay, well, we're not going to give you money for X, Y, and Z, and the state says, now, wait a minute, that money that you were going to give me, I was going to use for this. And that money that we had, that little pocket change that we had, we was going to send out to the residents or the people who needed EBT or SNAP or whatever and whatnot. But now, since we ain't going to get that money from the federal government, we going to hold on to what we got. That would seem like it would make sense. Of course, I don't know the ins and outs of this type of stuff, but this is not an argument for anything. If you've been in the system going back to 2020, and you also have to understand that going back to 2020, there were a lot of people that were not illegal immigrants that got laid off. So they would receive those benefits as well, right? I don't think it's wrong to have somebody come through and say, hey man, how many people do we still have on food stamps and, you know, housing, public or housing assistance that don't actually need it? You know, they've been on it for like a long time. They've been on it for a long time, pretty much still in the same position. What are we doing? Like, you're just riding the system and we gotta wean you off of it. I think most people would be okay with that. If you had a child in your house and your child wasn't growing, at some point in time, you'd be like, hey, you can't continue to bum off me. At some point in time, you have to grow up. That's essentially what the federal government is doing, in my opinion.
However, alarm bells should be going off for you today if you are living in a red state, because these 27 red states complied right away in May and handed over that data to the regime. So there's no reason to believe that those red states wouldn't once again comply with the administration and withhold those benefits. Now, if you live in a red state, your red state actually has the right to deny this request legally and still issue you your EBT benefits, dear. They don't have the right to stop it in any kind of way. We're going to have to see how this plays out today. But it's making the current regime look very, very guilty, honey. That they're just wanting to collect data, just like Blue State said, for their little immigration and surveillance plays. And imagine the amount of data on Americans they would receive through EBT going all the way back to 2020. They would receive data and personal private information on American citizens who no longer even receive these benefits, dear. It would be a huge data haul, wouldn't it? But either way, from everything that I can find today, they legally cannot stop you from receiving your benefits. They can't claim it's a shutdown, because that wouldn't cause you to not receive.
I mean, maybe I need to do some research, but does a census not exist? I know they don't do that all the time, but I feel like they have a census for this, right? They would already have your personal information about who's who where. If you're ducking the government, you wouldn't report on the census. And if you're ducking the government, you would be under a different name on EBT. Well, they got your personal information with your address. Again, if you're ducking the government, your address would be false. That would be dumb. Unless you just don't care, they would already have that information. And the information that you gave to get those benefits would be fake information. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter if you don't really get those people. I mean, you want to, but the vast majority of people that are riding on the system, at that point in time, if the government really wanted to, they would sweep them out. There would be a sweep and they would get you guys out.
Your benefits, dear. They can't claim anything, really, at all. as a legal reason to keep people from receiving their benefits. They can't say that it's, they're trying to sort out fraud and waste either. That's not an excuse for withholding funds from people who are not participating in fraud and waste, dear. Okay, so I hope that helps you out a little bit today if you're in fear in some kind of way. I still think you should keep your eye on this if you're living in a red state to see if they're going to comply. And this is going to affect you too, MAGA. If your red state decides to comply full on with the current regime, you're not going to get your benefits, baby. Because, whether you want to believe this or not, Red Hat, with your food stamps and all of that, this was never about sorting out fraud and waste, honey. This was about changing the federal government to no longer support the people who support the federal government. This was about making sure that your taxpayer money never ever went to you, honey. But yes, that's the tea right there. They've been trying.
Tea. Tea is bitter. Tea is spoiled. This tea is expired. If you need the benefits, if you need the assistance, take it. Even for people that are like, oh, I need to stay on a little bit longer, and they don't need to actually stay on a little bit longer, I don't think that it would actually hurt, right? But I'm talking about like a little bit longer. A little longer, right? Even if you stayed on benefits over a year, I don't know how that would happen unless you're lying, but even if you stayed on it for a year longer and you got off, you could recover from that. But if you're on SNAP and EBT, and not only are you on it for literal decades, you're on it and you're taking a huge chunk of it, and you're still using it while other people actually need it, then you're mooching, you're leeching off of the system, and you're taking from people that actually need it. So when the government comes in and they actually want to audit who actually needs the benefits versus who doesn't, then all of a sudden it's a problem. It's not actually a problem. It's just the people who don't want to get off and let somebody else have a turn who actually needs it, they want to stay there instead of passing it on and helping out. Let somebody else who is struggling, let them have the benefits for a time or two. And when they're done, they get off of it and let somebody else have the benefits. That's the only way that this works. But you guys thinking that this is a conspiracy for them to get your information and they didn't comply and now they're trying to revenge and all that stuff. Maybe some of that is true. I don't know. It doesn't really sound likely to me, but maybe it might be. But you don't need to worry about the government. You need to worry about yourself. Why are you on it? And how long are you going to ride the system? That's what you need to be worried about. Accountability. We talk on this channel all the time about modern women. Instead of getting up and hollering about what you're going to do, oh, I'm going to go to Walmart and do this. Why don't you get up and holler at yourself for not having a job? Why don't you get up and holler at yourself for not having a degree that's going to get you a good job so you can provide for yourself? Wait, why don't you holler about that? Instead of getting a helmet and some steel-toe boots to march into Walmart and mess up those folks' store, why don't you get some steel-toe boots and a helmet and march in there, and all that negativity that might be hitting your brain, oh, the helmet's going to block it out. I am going to get this job. Somebody trying to bite at my ankles and keep me back. They're not trying to let me get to where I'm going. They trying to stop me from greatness. Let them steel-toe boots stop them from biting at your ankles. I'm protected from haters. Leave me alone. How about you do that? But no, y'all want to sit up on here and keep up mess and not take accountability for the position that you're in. Once again, like I said, there's some situations where people actually need that. They actually need that. And this is affecting them for sure. But some of you guys talking out here, y'all should have been had a job. Y'all should have been off of assistance, and y'all should have been, I won't say thriving, but y'all should have been in a better position than you were in. You're being lazy. You're not thinking straight. And now, unfortunately, you're caught out of position.
I cannot believe that there are bitches on here that are saying that they would drop their friend if they cheated on their man. The fuck? You bitches know nothing about loyalty, not a thing. This is exactly why I have like 3 friends, because I know if I need to bury a body, they would be right there with me. And you bitches are ready to drop your friend over a man. A man. And regardless of all that, cheating is not a crime. You are not a bad person if you cheated. And you're probably sitting there being like, oh, you're probably just saying this because you cheated. No, bitch, actually I got cheated on. Ha, bet you didn't see that one coming. And do you know what happened then? I just left and life went on. Unless you're married with children, it's really not a big deal. Like, I knew he fucked up. He knew he fucked up. I know he's not a bad person for it, but this just isn't gonna work. End of. If you can't just check your friend in private and be like, hey, I don't think what you did was cool, and instead you're just gonna drop them for being a flawed individual because you think you're a better person, then this person is better off without your friendship because you don't know what it means to be a true friend.
Has to be rage bait. And I would say that this rage bait is 10 out of 10. You know, this must be how a lot of them think. You know, I would assume that they go even further and they say, well, you know, maybe even if it is a crime, it's not a felony. And if it's a felony, is it like murder? And even if it's murder, is it like 1st degree or is it 3rd degree? Was it an accident or was it premeditated? Do they mean to do that? They're asking all of these stupid questions, making all of these dumb statements. And once again, this is what we have the pleasure of seeing online. I love it. I'm enjoying it. Men, I know you guys are probably lining up for this. I know this is probably the woman that you want. I'm glad to be featuring her on my channel. As a matter of fact, I will give you her name. Bust Down. Sathiana, yeah. It's supposed to be Thatiana or something like that. Weird. The point is, when your friend is doing that and you're not checking your friend, well, check him in private. No. Hey, how would you feel if somebody did that to you? Are you okay? Rage bait.
That your kids need to go stay with their daddy. They can't stay
I
here
want
no
to say
more.
it again. Say it again.
I want you to understand that your kids need to go stay with their daddy. They can't stay here no more.
Okay, and I don't understand it. I'm their mother, so they're supposed to be here with me. There's nothing wrong with my kids.
No, they're supposed to be with their parents, and they both of their parents, their mother and their father, not just you.
Okay,
but since y'all jack that up, y'all ain't together no more.
Okay, so
they can't do
under
that.
unfortunate circumstances, they live with their mother. So you want to kick my kids out because of whatever reason you have a problem with them?
I'm kicking your kids out because your baby's father is disrespectful.
Okay,
and you disrespectful to you. I don't want his kids over here no more.
You seem extremely petty.
Well, petty or not, you had this nigga's car in my driveway. As disrespectful as he is. No, you know we don't get along. He hella disrespectful. You need to get your kids. You need to get your kids and take them over your baby's father's house. They can't stay.
So the fact that my kid's father is disrespectful.
Yeah.
That you don't want my kids here under the same roof as their mother.
Well, you know, yeah, true. That's facts. I don't want your kids.
How did you even come up with a mess like that? That don't even make my kids aren't even bad kids.
They ain't got to be bad kids. Their father is enough. They father, the fact that their father don't know how to conduct himself properly, then you need to take the kids over there with him.
So
let them raise them.
My kids always say yes, sir, no, sir. They're respectful to you. So you honestly being disrespectful to my kids, I'm not okay with that.
I'm not being disrespectful to your kids. Your kids will learn one day. One day when they get older, they'll understand what the decisions that I'm making. Your kids need to go over to their father's house and stay over there. As disrespectful as he is, I don't even really got to tell you this. I just told you to get the kids out.
He have never disrespected you until you have disrespected him. So you expect for my kid's father to respect you. Now, let alone now you want to kick my kids out. Do you think there's obviously going to be some peace in our household now that you feel like you need to kick my kids out?
It'll be more peace. Because as disrespectful as your baby daddy is, he ain't gonna say shit else to me. Get your kids and send them over there. He ain't got nothing else. We ain't got nothing to talk about.
This is not
we ain't got nothing to talk about.
This is not okay.
It is okay.
Because I want
it is
my
okay.
kids here with me. I take care of my kids. I make sure my kids are okay.
You can take care of your kids from his house.
And I'm not saying that he don't take care of them either. But the thing is that they live under my roof. And
not
I
no
live
more.
here.
Not no more. This ain't your roof. This ain't your roof. You ain't paid nothing on this roof. So guess what?
And you
take
throw
your
that
kids,
in my face every chance you get. But at the end of the day,
you know,
we became one. You took my kids in. My kids have never did anything disrespectful to you. Right. They have never done anything for them to deserve this.
Yeah, okay.
But
it ain't the kid's fault. It ain't the kid's fault. Just like the Bible say. right?
Don't do that.
The Bible
Don't do
says
that.
the parents will end up, the kids will end up paying for what the parents do, the parents' mistakes. And I'm tired of being disrespected by your baby's father. Get them kids, get them over there to his house. You hope they do what?
Run into this video one day just to see how you feel.
Listen,
about
I love
them.
your kids. I
No,
love your
you
kids.
don't love
I
my
love
kids.
your kids. I
You
don't
do not
love
love
your
my
baby
kids.
daddy.
You
Your
ain't
baby
supposed
daddy.
to love him. What do you mean?
Oh, I don't like that
nobody
nigga.
ever asked you to be best friends with him.
I'm clearly not best friends with
I
him. We
never
see
asked
that.
you to be
Well,
best
you
friends,
ain't-
but y'all needed to be
co-parent-
cordial because
I can't
we
be
having
cordial with that
children
fool, and you know. You know I can't be cordial with him. I'm done trying. You was disrespectful having that fool's car in my driveway. You should have made that nigga park on the street or somewhere else. But see, you disrespectful just like he is. So take the kids over there.
Have to get out because of you.
Yeah, they gotta get out.
And you being petty.
I know about being petty.
Okay.
They'll learn one day. They'll understand. They'll understand. Baby girl is cool.
Oh my
I love
God.
that girl, right? I love that
yeah,
girl. But at the
okay.
same time, your father making things
You
difficult
feel
around
that
here.
way about my kids will make me feel like I need to leave you because there's no way you're going to ever sit here and express yourself like that about my kids when they have done anything but respect you and treat you right. Do anything that you will ask them to do with no problem, no backlash. But this is how you feel about them, I will leave you behind my kids.
Well, if you do that, then you never love me. How about that? You ain't never loved me if you do
Oh,
that.
I will love you, but I know how to love you from afar. And my kids going to be right here with me.
No, they ain't. They finna go over there and stay with their dad.
Okay.
They can't stay here no more. I already told you.
Okay.
If I'm being honest with you, somebody in the comments said, basically he wants you to leave. He's just not saying it yet. If I'm being honest with you, I think you might want to start listening. He's being nice to you right now, but he's dead serious. What he's trying to tell you in no uncertain terms is, the man drove up to my house, he disrespected me, and you allowed him to disrespect me. I'm not flying off the handle. I'm trying to keep myself composed, but I don't allow that in my house. That's why a lot of men out there are single. They don't want all of the drama. Well, how come you won't date a single mother? I don't want any of the drama. All this other stuff. Well, my baby daddy's not going to be an issue. I don't want any of the drama. Let me make myself clear. It's not that you aren't a good person, but I don't want any of the drama that might come with it. Well, a real man, I don't care what you consider a real man. I consider peace, cooperation, and happiness. The man is being good to you right now and letting you know, don't come over here anymore. I don't want that stuff at my house. Those kids need to go over there with him. He don't need to be coming over here. If you got to meet him somewhere or drop the kids off and keep running, that don't mean drop them off, park the car, walk in the house, sit there and chat for a little while. All right, I'm about to drop you off at your dad's house. And I'm assuming they're old enough to get out the car and walk and take themselves in the house. And you wait on them to knock on that door and walk in the house. And you physically see dad step out that door and wave, all right, I got him, and then leave. That's what you need to be doing. But he's caused too much drama coming to my house, and I don't want him over here anymore. And it would behoove you to listen to what he's saying. But y'all think men are playing all the time. And when a man, quote unquote, takes it too far, then it's going to be a problem.